world. I've told you guys a lot of stories about, some of them may not have been completely true. They might have been half-truths, or they might have been full truths, but I have told you guys a bunch of stories on this channel. From the first day I started this channel in February of 2012, all the way up until October 24th of 2020. Now this does not mean I'm going anywhere anytime soon. That's not the case. I still have so many stories to tell you. So many amazing, fun, wild, crazy, adventurous, awesome stories to tell you in the future. And all those great stories I've told in the past are still there for you guys to watch. And I'm not saying it's going to be an easy journey or anything is going to be handed to me on a silver platter, because that's not the case at all. The fact of the matter is that, you know, I remember a while back, I don't know if I'm ever going to do a documentary or anything like that, or a mockumentary, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I'm going to ever do one. But I talked about this a couple days ago, that there have been some interesting documentaries that I've watched, whether it's an actor or an actress or a model or whatever it may be. I've seen a lot of, you know, documentaries in my time. And there's so many great documentaries that I have not seen yet. I want to make my own documentary someday. I just don't know when that someday is going to be. And my documentary is not just going to be, you know, an hour-long documentary. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be an hour and a half to hour 45 minutes. It's going to be a full length, you know, it's going to be a story. It's going to be my story that I want you guys to understand where I came from, and I'm not like what city I grew up in or anything like that. I want my story to be told for hundreds, if not, you know, thousands of years from now. And it may not happen like that, but I just want my story, my life to you know, be out there in the world in a documentary style film. And I don't know when this is going to happen, or if this will ever happen, this documentary will ever happen. There are so many, you know, individuals who have come into my life and have made a huge impact on my life. And then there's others that, you know, some of those have stayed with me for the entirety of my life. And some of them have kind of, you know, we've kind of weeded out of the bad friends that in my life. And there's so many, you know, new friends and new acquaintances and new, you know, people who have been following me for, maybe it's been a week, or it's been a day, or it's been, let's say, 10 years, or even 5 years, or even a full year. Everyone has their own story to tell. Everyone has their own story to write. Everyone has something that they want to discuss with the world and make it known. And I haven't fully finished my story yet. I haven't finished fully my full life yet. I'm still young. Even though some of you may think 31, almost 32 is not young. And you probably don't want to hear my story. But that's not your call to make. That's my call to make. I want my story, my life, I want a documentary about everything that and yes, I have accomplished a lot in my life. And I still have a lot left to accomplish in my life. I mean, like I said, I'm only 31. There's still, you know, I want to say 50 plus years left to go in my life. And it hasn't been finished yet. I feel like my story and my life, even though I'm just 31, there's still so much to write. There's still so much to tell. Whether it's in a documentary style film, whether it's in a book, whether it's in a video like this, there's just so much of my life that I have yet to live. And there's been so much of my life that I've lived already. I mean, I'm going to be 32 in just under 6 months from now. And, you know, I think that, you know, my 35th birthday is going to be a huge story. My 40th birthday is going to be a huge part of my story. Even my 50th or my, you know, 75th, my 90th. I want those specific years to be a big part of my life. Now, I don't know what's going to happen for my 35th birthday. I don't. I have an idea, and I want that idea to happen. I'm not saying it's going to, but it would be cool to have, you know, a trip with my family to a place I haven't been to in a very long time, in Florida. Now, for my 40th, I would love to have, you know, a celebrity show up. Whatever happens on that day. And I know this stuff is, you know, so far in the future, but, you know, my 35th is not as far as you think off, as most of you may think. Look, my 35th birthday is going to be here before we know it. My 40th, even though it's a little bit farther away, it's going to happen soon. Sooner than later. You know, 35, 40, 50, 75, even 90. Those birthdays, I want something magical to happen. And I know it's not going to be, you know, the biggest of celebrations or the best of birthdays or anything like that. And I'm not just talking about my birthdays. I'd love something amazing to happen in any age that I turn or any year that I'm living in. I want something, you know, memorable to remind myself that, hey, this is part of my story. This is part of who I am as a person. This is my life. And something amazing can happen in these, you know, on those specific ages, like 35, 40, 50, 75, even 90, those 5 ages, that will define my story, that will define my life. Now, don't get me wrong, I loved when I turned 21 and 25 and 30 and any age in between. Even when I became a teenager, even when I became 18 years old, even when I turned 20, there are specific ages that when my story's done and when your guys' story is done, that you'll be remembering those ages most of all. Because those are, you know, great ages to be turning. And this is when my story's all written, when the documentary is all complete, and we've worked on it for many, many, many years. You know, the stories that have been told about me, my life will be complete. Basically. And I don't know when or if this documentary is going to be made. But if it were to be made, my main concern is when I became a teenager, when I became 18 years old, when I became 20, 21, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, 75, 90, you know, all of these ages. I don't know if I'll ever reach 100 years old. That could be another story altogether, you know. It's just, this would be interesting to look back on when I'm, you know, getting close to my deathbed and looking back on this part of my story when I was 31, just about to be 32, in like less than 6 months. This is going to be the moment that I look at most. Even though, you know, 35 could be an amazing moment. 40 could be an amazing moment. 50. All these other ages as well. Anyways, that's all I want to discuss with you guys today. Now, if you have a birthday today, happy birthday to you. But I don't have any like special birthdays from celebrities or YouTubers or musicians or anything like that today. But I do have one tomorrow on the 25th day of the month. Anyways, I will see you tomorrow. Y'all know the drill. Have a great day. Bye-bye.